Hello. Alright, is everybody there? Hello. 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 Wow. As you can see right here. Wow. As you can see right here. Can you guys see me? This is driver man insane. Ah. Can you guys see me? This is driver man insane. Ah. Can you guys see me? This is driver man insane. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what to do now. Oh, wait a minute. Incredible. This is just. I think I know what to do now. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you guys can peruse all my data. Peruse all my data. Wait a minute. Aha! Is this showing up for you guys too? Aha! Is this showing up for you guys too? Would you look at that? I may be an alien. Maybe I'm not as smart as the humans. Would you look at that? I may be an alien. Maybe I'm not as smart as the humans. Would you look at that? I may be an alien. Maybe I'm not as smart as the humans. Would you look at that? I may be an alien. Maybe I'm not as smart as the humans. Would you look at that? I may be an alien. Oh? Now let's. Oh? Now let's. Damn it. Oh? Oh, wait. Why can't it be the other one? Oh, wait. Alright, you know what? Executive decision. Why can't it be the other one? Let's see something. Alright, you know what? Executive decision. Let's see something. This is some surreal shit. There's short one here. Some surreal shit. There's short one here. Am I not real? What's happening here? Absolute bonkers. Alright. Well. Am I not real? What's happening here? Absolute bonkers. Alright. This is insane. Alright, you know what? You know what? We're gonna make this work. Alright. I'm here. I don't know if you guys can see me. This is some, Alright. There we go. So I appear somewhere. Alright, I want to be a test stream and it take 10 minutes to get started, huh? Alright. This is the Mugal review. A little fun live stream to get us started. Alright, so here's how we're going to do it. First, I'm going to rank my personal ranking of all the Godzilla directors. God willing, these stupid ads get out of my way. We're going to do 2 rankings. First, my personal ranking of the Godzilla directors, just the films only, of course. And then we're going to do Godzilla designs, up to date. Most of them, everything I could track down. Unless you want to get pedantic and include, like, something from the comic books. But no, just film designs all around. Film directors all around. And, that's how we're going to do it. That's how this alien invasion's going to start with the goddamn rankings. So, here we are. I will say, at least I got approved to do a ranking, you know what I mean? I will say, at least I got approved to do a ranking, you know what I mean? Okay. Shit's working, as they say, in space. So, first up, we got our tiers, of course. You've seen this a billion times across your internet searching, yada yada. But we have directors, and I'm sure there have been other YouTubers who've talked about the directors before, but it's always something that's interesting, considering how many different tastes people have. And of course, without further ado, I'm going to have to put Ishiro Honda all the way up in S rank. Now, why is that? Well, I've got his book all the way back there on my shelf I've gathered from 20,000 years of reading and skimming. But his book, Ishiro Honda's book, a biography from a few of the Godzilla historians, namely Ed Gazatsuki and Steve Rolfe, I think that's him. It's blurring right now, but great book to read of Ishiro Honda. But even without that book, just watching his films alone, his work from Showa Godzilla all the way to Return of Ultraman, I love his work. It's very, just genuine, down to earth. And he's done a lot for the franchise too, a lot of variety. Like, if you've seen my other work on this channel, like I say, it's not just about the original 54, because a lot of the other things, the Godzilla mythos was created by, well, Honda doing other things, experimenting with Tsuburaya, with Fukube, Tomiyuki Tanaka, and some of my favorite writers, of course, like Shinichiki Sakizawa, and other things. And I just think that when it comes to Honda, his catalog, just in Godzilla and with Return Ultraman, and I've even seen some of his non-kaiju work, such as The Human Vapor. Like, I'm thinking about all that as well, Human Vapor and his other work. And sure, when it comes to other directors on this list, I've probably seen more of Honda's work. That's just how it is right now. But I think of Honda, difficult to put him S tier. I mean, why wouldn't I? I love Terror of Mechagodzilla. See what I'm doing here. A little cosplay kind of thing going on. Here we are, look at that. Recent Mechagodzilla purchase I have. And of course, good old Titanosaurus. I mean, what's not the love, right? Terror of Mechagodzilla is my favorite Godzilla film of all time, favorite film that Honda did. And I just love how his films always seem to be very, I wouldn't really say surreal, even though they are. They're more so just like, daily life is disrupted. Daily life is disrupted by these absurd, insane creatures, whether it's alien invasions, people with powers, just, King Kong waking up and attacking a train, and then Godzilla attacks a train. Just the way he's able to put the perspective of these human lives down. And then they get disrupted by these insane creatures from different realms of sci-fi fantasy. And I love how his films usually have some kind of tragedy to them. Whether it's the human vapor, like I said, or Terror Mechagodzilla, or Invasion of an Astro Monster, the original Godzilla. And even though they don't have tragedy, they're a lot of fun. Like, I'm a guy that enjoys Godzilla's Revenge quite a bit. And with all that in mind, I just think Honda is a guy, you really feel his perspective in all his films, Even when he's working for Toho, the studio, he still has his own eye, his own input, his own handprint in these films. And that's why I gotta put him in S tier. Next, we got Oda. And I'm gonna put him in C tier. Now, Oda, he only directed Godzilla Raids Again. He helped give me my boy Anguirus. We need more Anguirus lovers out there. If you don't like Anguirus, you can just go get. Try not to strangle you. But Oda, I think that he kind of gets, I wouldn't say lost, but he's not really talked about up there. Now, it's not just because he only had one film, because as you can see, we've had other Godzilla directors who only directed one film, as in being in the director's chair alone. And they get talked about a lot. But with Oda, he kind of gets stuck there because he was in a film that was a direct sequel to the original. But then there was a big gap before Honda, of course, came back and gave us equally wonderful classics like King Kong vs. Godzilla, Mothra vs. Godzilla, and so on and so forth. Now, Oda, he has had a pretty big career himself. But when it becomes being just a primary Godzilla director, he only had a Raids Again. Although I do like Raids Again quite a bit. It's really not one that I go back and rewatch a lot, but when you go back and watch it, it gives you that slice of life that I do like from a Honda film. Although maybe not the best, I guess, laid out in his own film, because, this is the first time we had a Godzilla fighting a monster. I still think it works alright. You get little bits of Osaka and northern Japan as well. Just kind of how people were trying to survive after World War II. I like that. If you're one of those guys that like -1, but you haven't seen Raids Again, you should go see Raids Again. You might find some more similarities of -1 than you might have anticipated. Even with that in mind, and banana oil and all that, I do think Raids Again is a fine film. It's just there's other Godzilla films that I think did your tokusatsu a lot better. But in terms of directing, I have to put Oda in C tier. Next, we got the man who helped pioneer flashy imagery and big boom booms in his Godzilla films, as well as taking Godzilla to tropical settings. And I gotta say, Jun Fukuda is S tier as well. I mean, just look at him. I feel like every picture you find of him is always just dripped out in some way, or just having a smirk at the camera. And sure, he might be one of the directors that kind of went back on his work on Godzilla in his later years of life, but that doesn't diminish what he did create, As you get older... damn. This tea got cold. Even if you go back and look at your work that you did in your younger years, you should still look back on the fond memories and find something that you made well. And I think that this Jun Fukuda guy is just spectacular, his work is. He's always accompanied with amazing scores that are different from Ifukube's scores, such as having Sato score his films for the most part. And even something like Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon, I think has a lot of charm. Well, not just charm, they have a lot of good qualities to them. Like, I can't think of another Godzilla film that has a fight as entertaining as Megalon or Gigan as the way they portray their fights. Like, if you check out G-Force the Kaiju podcast, we have a video on Godzilla vs. Gigan. And I go on and on about how much I love Godzilla vs. Gigan. Now, I also love Son of Godzilla. I also love big duel in the South Seas, aka Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. And of course, you got Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. What's not to love? I feel like, in terms of Honda and Fukuda, they both balance each other out quite nicely. Honda directed about how many... He directed a bunch of Showa films, but how many Showa Godzilla films did he direct? Well, let's see. Got the original King Kong versus Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, that's 3. Ghidorah, that's 4. Invasion, that's 5. Then he did Destroy, and then he did Revenge, and then he did Terror. It's like 8 films out of 15. Then for Fukuda, he did Sea Monster, Son of Godzilla, Gigan, Megalon, and Mechagodzilla. So that's 13. So these guys, they kind of did a lot in the Showa era of Godzilla alone. And of course, they also worked in some TV tokusatsu as well. I just feel like when you think about tokusatsu as a whole, these guys are part of the pioneers, besides, of course, Tsuburaya and his own tokusatsu. You're making Suitmation, Ifukube's influence, Tanaka's influence, the whole Tsuburaya family, all the other directors that were in this era. But in terms of Godzilla, these guys are some of the heavy hitters. And I just think that, with their work in mind... And this is the tea that was cold earlier. Damn. I've been sitting too long trying to fix these bugs. But Fukuda, he's just incredible. I think that, talking about his work in Godzilla, they're fun, they're vibrant, and he takes the human cast to another level. Whether it's how he had Akira Takarada playing a thief and Sea Monster, or having just an amazing cast in Son of Godzilla, where they're really trapped on the island, compared to how Sea Monster had a whole terrorist group and he had to survive a villainous secret base with a monster. Son of Godzilla is more of a survival story, and I like that a lot, A survival story of monsters before Jurassic Park, if you will. And then, of course, Gigan and Megalon go straight into that insane 70s tokusatsu, more an Ultraman influence slightly. I think it works quite well. And you got Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which maybe, for some people, it might be his magnum opus. I mean, I'm dressed up as a black hole planet that we're alien right now, so I might have to agree. But, of course, even something like Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla brought in the Okinawa being part of Japan now, and why not take Godzilla there, you know what I mean? Next, let's move to Banno. I'm going to put him in A tier. Now, Godzilla vs. Ghidorah is one of those films you don't forget, and it definitely left an impression on me growing up. It's pretty terrifying. And even as I get older, I love seeing his influence more and more. He really took Godzilla and was like, what if we did more with him? And giving him an insane foe in the form of Ghidorah, the Spog monster. And if there's one thing about directing, I like that Godzilla vs. Ghidorah reminds me of like the original Evil Dead films. Just trying new things, why not? Get crazy, let's see what happens. And sometimes crazy works. I think of Godzilla vs. Ghidorah, crazy works quite well. That's why I gotta put him in A tier. And notably, he did also lead to the Monsterverse being created, so all hail Banno. Banno, you are just a god among the Godzilla directors. And I do think that, well, you know what? I'll put him in S tier. There we go. I changed my mind. He's just based. He shows up, makes a weird Godzilla film, then continues to do that, like pursuing that side of Godzilla, his other film ideas, like trying to get them made, right? And he just shows up back in like 2012 to help Godzilla 2014 get greenlit, and then he got us to where we are now. So, Banno, you're absolutely based, and you are just S tier all around. Because I think if a director leaves an impression on you, then they did something right. Alright. Now we got Hashimoto from Return of Godzilla. And I'm going to put him also in S tier. Now why is that? Well, he's also one who's only did one film, but he left an impression on me. I've already talked about Return of Godzilla ad nauseum on this channel. I can even grab a little, where's that? There we go. Somehow I'm sober doing this. Somehow I'm sober, guys. I'm just drinking tea. But Return of Godzilla, I already had a big video about it you can find on my channel. Is Return of Godzilla the best solo film? I love Return of Godzilla. You should too, god damn it. And with all that in mind, I just think that, I think Hashimoto really left an impression. His solo Godzilla film was my favorite solo Godzilla film of them all. And I just think the way he had the atmosphere, the scale, the way he used, just the music and having it be in the right spot, and the fact that this film is a landmark of its own, being one of the last Godzilla films to have an actual English-American edit, with Raven Berg added in, but even without that in mind, as cool as it was, I think that Return of Godzilla, Hashimoto just really cemented itself as the Godzilla film that was very popular at one point, but now with Shin and -1 is kind of underrated. And I just wish that Return of Godzilla would get more praise. Because, like I said, it's my favorite solo film. And I just feel like Hashimoto's direction, he had a good sense of skill of the humans and their focal point in the film, and how they're involved with the cast, and Godzilla himself, and the way, like, his film isn't very loud, it's more subdued. And I think that works quite well for Return of Godzilla. The Cold War tensions, when shit's about to hit the fan, it gets intense, it gets dramatic, and I like that. And I just think that, the way that Godzilla destroys Tokyo in Return of Godzilla is unlike any other. The way he gets so pissed and he takes down the Super X by knocking a skyscraper over it is just perfection. Now we got Omori, and I'm gonna put him in A tier. Now, I think there might be some more there's bigger Omori fans out there than I am, but I still won't deny, the cool influence that of Godzilla. He kept that 80s kind of just, not grunge, kind of gothic, just moody feel, with Godzilla vs. Biollante. And while that wasn't really present in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, on a more recent watch I fell back in love with Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. It looks very clean, but I think that was on purpose because of the full futuristic aspect. But I like the way he did add some new structure to the Godzilla mythos. I think that out of all his films, I think that his two that he directed, and then he mostly wrote for the rest of the Heisei era, but I think it worked. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his human cast, I'll admit. I think that's kind of the weakest point of the whole Heisei era, because I don't think they're as fun and inventive as the Showa era, or even some of the Millennium characters we get, but there's still some good qualities there. Omori was one of the first guys that helped start a new era, alongside what Hashimoto first started, the Heisei era. And I think that for what he did do a lot of cool things, and further in the Godzilla mythos, or how he can be presented in a modern age, well, what was the modern age at the 90s at one point. But I think I think his later Heisei films that he wrote kind of fell off. Because it's interesting, he was still present even though he wasn't directing. But I'll admit, I don't know, I just think he did fine. He did fine. And then we have, let's see, Okawara. And I do want to see what, let's see. Yeah, I only directed those two, but I think... Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Yeah, because I love Okawara. Ah, that's right, Yamashita. I'll have to talk about Yamashita. But back to this. I think, Omori's going to go there. A tier, and he really left an impression. Now we have Okawara. And I am going to put him in A tier. Mainly because of Godzilla, or S tier, sorry, because of Godzilla 2000. I love what he did with Godzilla 2000 alone. I think he built up what he did, and, hang on, out of all the Godzilla films he directed, the Heisei, Godzilla vs. Mothra, Heisei vs. Mechagodzilla, Destroya, and then Godzilla 2000. I'm not the biggest fan of Destroya, I'm not, or the Heisei Mothra, but I think of his film ranking would be at the bottom. Mothra, Destroya, Mechagodzilla, then 2000. So maybe with that in mind, I'll put him right here. Although all it really takes is one film for these guys to be an S tier. You know what? He went out with a bang on his last film, so we're gonna go with S tier for Okuwara. And I do think that, the coolest thing that he did, I think, was helped elevate Godzilla to a CGI era with Godzilla 2000. And he created some pretty, he got to oversee Destroya and Orga, and if you play the Pipework games, you gotta love Destroya and Orga in those games. And watching those films, then playing those games, I got a lot of fond memories of Okuwara's films, of course. But I do remember his human scenes in the Heisei era being quite static. Maybe my memory's a bit fuzzy, but I remember them being quite static. But I do like what the leap he took of Godzilla 2000. He really, I felt like found his footing there, and I would love to see another Godzilla film from him. Like a proper sequel to Godzilla 2000. And I just think, with that in mind, I'm going to put him in S tier. I feel like his film stuff has left an impression on me as well. Destroya was a sad film, of course, of Godzilla actually dying. But in 2000, took a different approach. If Destroya was a sad ending to the Heisei era, more melancholy, then 2000 was more of a retro or introspective look at Godzilla and his relationship to humanity as a whole, because now he helped save them from Orga and the Millenniums, but he could also still destroy us, as he was still destroying Tokyo in the final shots of 2000. And I think if you're a Godzilla director, what better visual to go off on than having Godzilla 2000 and him burning Tokyo while he still did something heroic just before that, right? It's like the Hulk, when the Hulk is going to beat up the military, but he'll still save us from a supervillain. That's the energy I give Godzilla 2000. So I'm still going to put that in S tier. So Okuwara, you definitely left an impression. And I'll put you up there for that alone. Now we got another one-off director almost overlooked, that being Yamashita. And he has had quite a catalog in tokusatsu as well. But when looking at the Heisei era, he's interesting because I think his film was a bit more lively than Okuwara's Heisei outings, in terms of the human scenes. We got, I don't know, I think what Yamashita is that apparently his film, the villain of his film, is we're going to be seeing Space Godzilla soon. If you know what I mean. Going from Yamashita to the newest Monsterverse director. So, he definitely left an impact like Banno did, but I don't know, I just feel like with Yamashita, his other work, he was an assistant director on Terror Mechagodzilla, so I'll give him that. But I don't know, man. I feel like I'm gonna have to put him in. Yeah, I'll put him in C tier for now. And I like Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. You can also see my thoughts on it on our G-Force the Kaiju podcast. Wink, wink. But it's just not one of my favorites. It's not. I just think it's an alright film. There's some cool scenes, but a lot of missed opportunities of Godzilla and Little Godzilla, forming a bond. But Mogira's cool and Space Godzilla's cool. I like that he brought us back to a tropical setting, because the Heisei era is getting a bit monotonous with its constant cityscapes. Even though the Heisei era did give us a new city for Godzilla fighting, most of them. Like how Yokohama's in Mothra, and then Space Godzilla, he fights in Fukuoka. So that's cool. And he did give us a cool scale of Space Godzilla's crystals everywhere. And he did kind of try to have more of an interesting human dynamic of Yuki being hell-bent on killing Godzilla. But, I don't know. I think it's just C tier for now. Then we got Emmerich. Well, I would grab a drink with them just to see, what the hell were you thinking, man? enough said on that one. Now we got Tezuka. I'm gonna put Tezuka in A tier. Maybe above Amori. Yeah, I'll put him above Amori. I don't know, his 3 films I like. You know, there's also that story of him going to see 2014 in the theaters just to get all the collector edition cups. I just think Tezuka's a cool guy. I mean, like, I don't have anything against him. I really love... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna... Fuck. Alright, he's gonna be very high A tier. And why is that? Why am I putting him... Why am I putting Tezuka over Amori? Well, it's because of this, really. I saw 2 of his films in the theater, and that means something. Seeing Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS on the big screen in 2022 and 2023. Seeing those childhood favorites on the big screen cemented them as one of my favorites. So, he's a hard A tier. He cannot move that spot. Tezuka, man, I would love to see you make another Godzilla film. I think he still has it in him. Why not? I think Toho, you should bring back a lot of old directors and let them do some little things. And let them have the spotlight again. That would be a cool way. Kind of like how Ultraman still has some classic directors from like the 90s. Make an episode here and there. Let Tezuka do that for Godzilla. Let him make a short film. Why not? If they're still around, let him direct if they feel up to it. So Tezuka, A tier. And I think that, yeah, he deserves to be there. Oh, now we got Kaneko. Kaneko, I'll be honest, I do prefer his Godzilla stuff more than the camera. And he also does some Ultraman work as well. But I'm going to put him here. Because I love GMK, man. He's one of those one-offs where I'm like, Kaneko, man, you cooked. You cooked, damn it. You cooked. And you cooked well. And I'll put that in, he deserves to be an A tier, of course. What can I say? What can I say? I love GMK, like I said, the more mystical setting. I also love the scale he has in his films. He used CGI quite well with Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Mothra. And I feel like he brought them back to life in a new, fresh way. Like, if you're going to do one-offs, do it like GMK. Make it fresh and exciting. And I think he just nailed it. So he definitely deserves to be an A tier. I wish he got to do another film. And yeah, I just feel like Tezuka and Kaneko deserve to be an A tier as well. And I would love to see Kaneko take another shot at Godzilla film as well. I thought we heard rumblings of him doing another Gamera film. Let him and Tezuka do some Godzilla shorts, damn it. I'd buy that for $1. And then we have Kitamura. I follow him on Instagram, and this guy's awesome. I wouldn't mind if he got to make another Godzilla film, to be honest. I think he deserves it. And I feel like Kitamura, he just oozes early 2000s badassery, and he still does to this day. He's one that I really want to check out more of his films. And I love that his Final Wars design has been used more often with those short films that are wonderful. And I feel like Kitamura definitely left an impact on the Godzilla franchise. His film was unique, it was experimental, and even though you can debate whether he was good for a 50th anniversary film, for me, Final Wars is just an after party. That's what Final Wars is, a good after party film that complements Tokyo SOS. So Kitamura, I think that you're a badass, and I'll put you in B tier. And now we have a complete opposite to Kitamura, being Gareth Edwards. I'm about to see his new Jurassic Park film later this week, maybe today. But, I mean, 2014 was a film he had a lot of direction over. I got his Art of book behind me over there, like Art of Godzilla 2014. Although I gotta say, I feel like he had a lot of missed opportunities. I'll put him right here for now. But they're both big fans, and I feel like they kind of contrast each other in different ways. Although the more I think about it, like reading his thoughts in the art book was wonderful. Then seeing the finished product, it's like, what the heck happened? So, actually, you know what? C tier. There we go. I think I'd admire the more insanity that Kitamura had than the more reserved nature, although perspective was good in his scaling. I think Edwards has to be down there. Sorry, man. Although, I still got a lot of nostalgia for 2014. I'm gonna have to put it like 2014 isn't one of my favorites, and looking back on it, it's still insane. Like looking back at the hype, but as a finished film, presents some amazing shots and some good cinematography, I was not too jazzed by it. So that's why Edwards, I'm sorry, man, you gotta be in C tier. Next, we got Ano. You know what? He's gonna be in B tier. Him and Shiguchi. Well, put Shiguchi above him slightly. I think these two, they complement each other well, and I just feel like if you're gonna make a Godzilla film, having a co-director is kind of a cool idea, and I do feel both of their influence in there. I've seen Shinji Higuchi's Shin Ultraman, and some of his other work. He did Gamma Trilogy, of course, has special effects. But I think in terms of a special effects director being elevated, I think I like Higuchi more than Edwards. And with that in mind, I got to see Higuchi in person. Actually, you know what? I take that back. You're going in A tier, man. The reason I'm putting Higuchi above Ano is because at G-Fest, I was walking in there in 2017 and he looked me in the eye. He looked me in the eye as I was walking into the lobby. You don't forget that, man. So, Higuchi, you're going in the A tier. I love you, man. I hope he gets another crack at a Godzilla film. Like, let Higuchi, Tezuka, and Kaneko take another crack. Maybe Ano writing, but I wasn't too jazzed on this Kamen Rider. I like Evangelion when I used to watch it, like, God, almost 8 years ago, maybe? 7 years ago, I watched Evangelion. I enjoyed it a lot. Cool directing. I think animation might be his strong suit more, and special effects might be Higuchi's strong suit, but I think they complement each other well. I love Shin Godzilla, though. I got the figure right here. So. But, with all that in mind, I think I gotta put these guys right there. A little separated from each other, their own strengths. More of an edge towards Higuchi, me personally. Well, that's just me. And next we got the anime directors. That's right, Shizuno and Sashita. Damn, look at that guy. Looks badass. I mean, Shishita got to do Gamma Rebirth. I admire him for doing Godzilla and Gamma in this day and age. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like Shizuno... Look, I like the anime films. I actually do. He's got to be in C tier as well, I think. However, Shishita, I'll put him in high C tier. Because he was the big Godzilla fan of the duo. While Shizuno only seen a few films like you saw in that Wikizilla entry. I remember reading that back in the day. But I think Shishita... Well, I don't know. I like his scale, but I feel like... I really enjoyed his fights in the Gamma Rebirth thing, but again, this is only Godzilla. I feel like his edge of the Godzilla thing was a bit better. Edge in battle. But Shizuno had a good spot too. And I feel like he, just being a co-director, I don't know. I feel like these guys get to kind of void each other out. Now... I don't know. Maybe... There we go. Maybe that'd be a little better off. There we go. I mean, again, I enjoy the anime films, even though they're not the most visually interesting. I like their stories. They're more Planet of the Apes inspired. As a teaser for a future Mughals review video about Godzilla anime trilogy and its connection to the original Planet of the Apes. Wink, wink. But I'll save that for later. Now for this film, I think those guys belong down there. Next, we make it to the Monsterverse. Here we go. Dougherty, Wingard, back to back in the bottom. Hang on. I like both the Godzilla and Kong films in the Monsterverse. I do. I think they have great fight scenes, even though sometimes, like, when I watch them, I love it. When I look back, I'm not so sure, because I feel like with CGI, you can only do so much of Godzilla, like, in the budget. But I think that I enjoy it. We at least get to see the monsters. Dougherty, this guy had the ball in his court. All the hype from all the fan interviews and whatnot. But when you see his finished film, King of the Monsters, it's so disappointing. I don't like his direction of the humans at all. I mean, there's still a mild wide gap, maybe like that wide of a gap between Dougherty and Emmerich, and then like this big of a gap between like Wingard and Dougherty. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to Monsterverse, these two guys have their unique ideas and visuals, but I don't know. I expect more from a Godzilla American director. Same goes for you, Edwards. Actually, you know what? Oh no. Man, this is getting hard, damn it. But I feel like it's pretty fair. Wingard, I like that he got to do 2 films, but he's made some of the similar mistakes in both of them. Dougherty had 1 film and he didn't blow me away at all. I just think that 2014 is more visually interesting than King of the Monsters, but I enjoy the action way more of his 2 King Kong and Godzilla films. Like, at least get to see Godzilla and King Kong in buddy cop comedies, you know? So I would at least grab a drink with these guys to see what they thought. I've seen their director's roundtable for the Monsterverse. I wasn't really blown away either, but I thought it was cool seeing them all talk and gossip. And you don't really get to see that a lot of directors, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind if they maybe got all these guys to work on one Monsterverse film and see what the fuck that would look like. Let them all drink together and make a monstrous Monsterverse film of all their styles being meshed together. Maybe they could balance each other out and give us a perfect American Godzilla film. Who knows? Who knows? But to kind of speed this up, we're going to give Yamazaki. There we go. I think he deserves being B tier as well. Like I said, when it comes to CGI, Godzilla can look amazing, but I don't know if you see my other video on -1, like the films that inspired -1, I think there's a lot of other cool things. Like, -1 wouldn't exist to other Godzilla films besides 54. However, Yamazaki is still doing other Godzilla projects. We just saw him do this new Godzilla new ride in Japan. This one, like, he's done King Ghidorah, Rodan, and now Mechagodzilla. So I'll give him credit. He's still on the table. He's still making stuff, so he'll be in B tier. There you go, Yamazaki. But in terms of -1, I really liked it a lot. It's a really good film. Really solid, strong human cast. It's just there's other Godzilla films I like more. You know, like -1 is still comprised of like a person having a vendetta against Godzilla that we saw in Tezuka's films and Yamashita's film and the anime trilogy. So, and then we got that Raids Again influence with Oda's work with the pilots and Godzilla, and of course everything else we talked about before in this video. Yamazaki has a strong visual style, and once again he's a special effects guy that got to be a main Godzilla director. We've seen that story a lot of times now, looking back on his directors. So, but I think he pulled it off a bit more than Edwards did, and a bit more than some of these other directors did as well. I'd love to see a new Godzilla film with him as well. And we got Grant Suter. I've not seen anything from this guy, but hopefully he blows me away. So there we go, almost an hour into the stream, give or take 30 minutes. Here's my ranking on the Godzilla directors. Now with that out of the way, take a screenshot if you want. Hold me for blackmail if you want. There you go. Hold me, Alien Mugal III, for my Godzilla ranking. And breaking the fourth wall, or third wall, fourth wall. God, my brain is mush right now. But there's my Godzilla ranking. Mwah. And now let's move on to Godzilla designs. Yes. So when it comes to Godzilla designs, let's see if this shows up. It does! Would you look at that? Well, hopefully. I gotta check. Let's go here. What to do with the Godzilla design rankings, guys? Let's go here. What to do with the Godzilla design rankings, guys? Let's go here. What to do with the Godzilla design rankings, guys? Let's go here. Alright, it's working. Alright. Here we go. Godzilla designs as of 2025, including that new 70th anniversary one they had for Southeast Asian fans of Godzilla and the Green Atomic Breath. Good stuff. 70th anniversary one they had for Southeast Asian fans of Godzilla and the Green Atomic Breath. Good stuff. Well, let's get into it. Alright, so, my favorite Godzilla designs. Let's get into it, shall we? Alright, I'm just gonna go for my, well, how should I do this? Should I do it consecutively or just pick my favorites right off the bat? Because this is more so about my favorites instead of what, what people might say, oh, this one looks better objectively or yada yada. I'll just get into it my way. How about that? So, let's do my favorite of all time. With the top rank being Godzilla from Godzilla 2000. A Happy Moment from Invasion of Master Monster. Save the Earth from Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Like Crap 3 or Goose, another one from Godzilla 2000. And then That's a Lot of Fish from Godzilla 98. But my all-time favorite have to be the 73 to 75 suit. I love it. Usually whenever I think of Godzilla, he's one of the first ones that come to mind. I still got this old-timey figure from back there. It was a box set with this Titanosaurus I showed you, and Showa Mechagodzilla and the 75 Godzilla design. Both of those other guys are back there, being nice and comfy. And it's gotta be my top favorite, really. And then I just gotta say, I love this design. I would love for them to make a new suit of it and have him appear in a new special. Come on, Toho. You got the money, Toho. You got the money. Let's do this. And for my next all-time favorite, just in that vicinity, let's see. Where is he? There he is. 64 design. I got the NECA design for that back there. I love to get another big scale figure of him. But the 64 design, used in 2 films, I like him a lot. I love his glossy eyes he had in Mothra vs. Godzilla. I just love his whole structure. I just feel like whenever I think of Godzilla, he's up there too. One of my all-time favorites. And then when it comes to a happy moment, I'm going to have to put 84. I love the 84 design, man. Whenever I think of Godzilla, I think of him. And I just feel like, like whenever I think of Godzilla, I like 84 a lot. I know he's more of a popular design back in the day before, we had all these new, like, at least 6 or 7 new designs ever since 2014 that have, made a lot of new fans. And even 84 is kind of overlooked with the Heisei fans, but I still like him a lot. He's intimidating, but has that Showa design as well. A good mixture, a good transition design. For another design I really love, the 68 to 72 suit from Destroyer Monsters, or Gigan. Depending on how you look on it, like, maybe a happy moment as well. Like, depending on how you look on it, whether, that was Showa Godzilla's last design, depending on the timeline with Destroyer Monsters, or just another design he had from Gigan and Hedorah and Revenge. I just love this design. He looks mean, grouchy. He got that mean look he has in Godzilla versus Hedorah and other things like that. And I just feel like, I might be yapping to myself right now, but I feel like that's a great design for Godzilla. He's mean, he gets beat up a lot, but he still gets back into the fight. And I just love, like I said, how grumpy, but also, like, endearing he looks. I think endearing is the word I want to use here. And with that in mind, I think that the next design I want to use is going to have to be... so many to pick from, damn it. Godzilla 2000. 8, S tier. Godzilla! I love this design, man. What can I say? Like, I like the way we see more of him in color, like in daylight and Megagearus, but that design he has is phenomenal. Like, I want to get that new Haya figure. Have you seen that? The new Haya... Is that right up there? Would you look at that? Or do you? Yeah, like, I want this figure, man. I wish it was a bit more green, but like, look at that. Like, I want him, damn it. So that has to go in S tier, or my top tier. What can I say? Like I said, think about the Pipeworks games, the Pipeworks trilogy. I think of Godzilla 2000. Just a perfect design. Nostalgic. Needs to come back. I love it. You love it. I love it. Phenomenal. Just like you guys. Now for my next design. I'm going to put up here. Let's see. I'm going to have to do... 62. Save the Earth. I still think he looks great. Like, my NECA figure is phenomenal. But it's just other Showa designs I prefer. He still saves the Earth. He's still good. Like, I love him and King Kong's designs. I really do. On that 62 classic. I think they look phenomenal. Just other Showa Godzilla designs I'm more accustomed to. Growing up, I like better. But I love his, like, eyebrow and his head shape. Like, I always thought Shin Godzilla kind of reminded me of his head shape. Just a little bit. Like, in terms of, he looks very dinosaurian. He might be the most dinosaur-looking Showa Godzilla. And with that in mind, I still like the 1962 suit design. But he goes in, like, the middle, saves the Earth. Still good, still good. I just like other designs better. And next, you know what? Since we're talking about 62, I'll do 54. A happy moment. Classic, if you're a kid, you probably had a toy of him at some point, thanks to Bandai USA always having some kind of 54 designed on standby for you to buy in a 6-inch vinyl. And using these tiny ones. I painted one of these, like a small 54 figure from my Crumble Zone set. And he looks great. He looks great. Now, I just think that, he's actually, looks cool. Like, he's actually brown in design when you see him in color. I love 54. A lot of people do. Just other designs I like more. As for the Raids Again design, I'll put him right here. What can I say? Similar build, skinnier, a little bit demented looking, but still a good design. Next, we'll do, what I want to pick. What do you guys want to pick? What I want to pick. We'll do GMK. Yeah, we'll just jump straight into GMK. One of my favorites also. It looks mean, eerie, but he has a beer belly. Like, that's one thing I want to narrow down about GMK. He has a beer belly. If you kick ass with a beer belly, you're just incredible. So, there you go, GMK. You're up there as well. Now, when it comes to Zamizaki's first design, like, I love GMK, but I don't love his Always Sunny design. I didn't think it was going to be on this tier list I found, but I'll put it there. I mean, actually, you know what? That's a lot of fish. He looks cool. If you remember from the dry era, then that 2007 design is cool, but I don't know. Some of those like other designs I don't really like that aren't in a film, you know. It's hard to follow with them if not rewatching it in a film continuously. You know, does that make sense? And his other Godzilla designs that Yamazaki oversaw would be better later on. Speaking of crap through a goose, we're gonna put TriStar. There we go. 98 design is cool looking, like it's got that 90s edge to it. I like if the rain, and they did use a suit for him in the film, kind of. But you know the whole story of 98. We'll talk about that more in our video coming up with Magma and I about the first American Godzilla and Ultraman. But that'll be a lot of fish. Then like crap through a goose, I like the Son of the junior design he had. I think it was cool. I love the coloring and the animation, so it's still really good. I like the green atomic breath, and I don't know, I really like the animated series. Once again, G-Force the Kaiju podcast. I'll show it to you right now. If I can type. There we go. Go look up G-Force the Kaiju podcast. We have a brilliant episode that my buddies broke down, like a whole series on, well, the 98 cartoon. So you can find it all the way on there. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful breakdown of the series. And, like I said, if you want a good breakdown on all things Godzilla series 1998, then go check that out. Go check it out. Now we have this one. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put the Marvel design. That's a lot of fish. I mean, just green Godzilla. Kind of same as Hanna-Barbera. Just like, I like them. They're fine. They make sense for like, you know, merchandising back then in the 70s for Godzilla. But I just don't like them as much. Like, but as a goofy, like, that's Godzilla. I guess they work, you know. Kind of like my Imperial Godzilla I have over here. Like, good design. Really good. Just, you know, like, it works as Godzilla for America at the time. It's just, I mean, it's just fine. There's other designs I like better. But, kind of like, in terms of this quality of the list, they kind of have to go through. They have to go in. That's a lot of fish. Next, let's do, Final Wars. A happy moment. Maybe some days I like them more than 54. Just because of their short films I saw. And like seeing that Final Wars design back and groovy, fighting Showa Gaigan, Final Wars Hedorah, GMK, King Ghidorah, and Showa Jet Jaguar, perfection. What can I say? This, you know, one of my favorites of all time. I love Final Wars. Like, the design is incredible. Now the 91 design for Godzilla, we'll put him up there as well. He's menacing, he looks great. And I just overall like his design a lot. Now the 93 suit, we'll put him up there as well. Let's kind of speed run the Hazy designs, shall we? Since they're pretty similar. But I remember when I was like in middle school, I'd go on like Wikizilla or just watch the films and try to like find like all the differences between the Hazy designs, the differences they have in particular. And when it comes to differences, like, I guess they call him Rado Goji because of Rodan. He's really fat, one of the fatter Godzillas we've had. He's a chunky boy. But for all the chunky boys, he doesn't have a beer belly like GMK. He's just a big fat guy design. I still think he's pretty cool. Like, I love the red design they gave him when he gets the spiral heat ray. That's cool. But I just like the Bio Goji design from 89-91 a bit more. I just like the brown eyes they gave him. And here, like, the biggest way to tell the difference between the Heisei suits if you're new. Like, look at the eye color. The 93 design has, like, more fiery orange-red color. Then he had a brown eyes from 89 to 91. And then, to bring up the Batra Goji design, as they call him, he has gold eyes. Like, golden yellow. I think it's cool. He's a lot thinner. But I don't go back and watch that film a lot, the Heisei Mothra film, so he kind of has to go down there. You know, not one of my favorites, but he works. Then we got the Sun and Godzilla design. And honestly, I like this one a lot. I like him a lot. I just think he's cool. Like, not one of my, like, I'm going to go through and say, hey, I like that guy a lot. But you know what? He's fine. I like his old man design. Like, if GMK had a pot belly, then I like how, like, just tired and exhausted Godzilla looks in this film. You know, it's more distinct. And I do think that, like, he fits well as a complement against the more dinosaurian of the 62 design. If you look at the Son of Godzilla design, he's just kind of, like, he's tired, but he's really tall. I like the scale they had with him. And, you know, he complements Manila. Like, I love Manila. So I'm going to like this design too. That's kind of my standard for the 67 design. Like, the way King Kong looked in that year of King Kong Escapes, like, they're a bit doofy looking. You know, little, like, they just look tired, but I think it fits, you know. They look like they're hungover and they have to work a 9 to 5 and take care of their kid at the same time. So I like that design aspect, you know. And then we have, let's see. 94 design is really good. I'll put him up here. I feel like when I think of Heisei Godzilla, I think about 94 and 89 a lot more. His eyes are a bit different from the 93 design. He's a bit bulkier, but I like him. Well, not bulkier. They slimmed him down a bit, I think, like from a sideways profile. But, you know, when we talk about 94, you gotta talk about burning. So I'll put burning above him, even though when I think of a burning Godzilla, I always get a bit sad because he dies. But his design is cool. I wish they colored his like tail a bit more. Like, it's just kind of left uncolored from this. But still cool. Like, in terms of a suit, I think it's incredible what they pulled off in 95. Like, say what you want about Godzilla vs. Destroyer, as I talked about in my director's one. Not one of my favorite films, but I like what they did with the suits. Like, there's a lot of shit going on besides the, like, special effects added on with the beams. Like, on a practical standpoint, that burning design is what a beast. A good upgrade to the 94 suit. And now, let's go back to Showa. The 65 suit. I'll put him in Save the Earth, you know. Maybe I like it a bit more than the 67 design. A good crossroads between, like, looking at it from a vacuum, the 68 onwards, and then 64 and 73 and 75, but I like him. But, like, this becomes Gyrus and Ultraman, if you know that story. It's cool, he got repurposed. But I will give it this, the 65 suit. Maybe this isn't, like, a point towards, like, how, like, you know, the suit in the films, but he still exists to this day, if you think about it, you know what I mean? Like, there's still a Gyrus design to this day. Like, look at that. He still exists, man. Going to the Ultraman Wiki. I think the fact that we still have a Showa design being up there is really cool. Where is it? Help me find it, viewer. Help me find it. Holy cow. There we go. Stage show. Come on. No, that's not the right one. There we go. Well, if it loads. There we go. Like, he's still, that suit is still out there. Obviously not the same exact suit, but, like, the design is out there. I like that a lot. I know, going to the Ultraman right now, like, talking about that instead of Godzilla, but we're talking about, like, the history of Tokusatsu and the suits. I think I gotta put, 65 gets a little bit of credit for that. And now let's talk about some other designs that maybe not biggest fan of. Like, I like the Shin Godzilla forms, but I don't know, like, when it comes to Godzilla forms, I'm gonna put all of them right here. Only because I like Titanosaurus, I'm putting him above the Vera design. When it comes to Shin Godzilla or his clone, and with Godzilla Ultima, I think Shin Godzilla has better designed forms that look like a good transition when he becomes Shin Godzilla, but we're looking at Godzilla Ultima, like, I don't know. I get what they're going for, selling merchandise by having Titanosaurus and Varan and Gorosaurus be put into his forms. It makes sense, but, I'm not a big fan of that. I thought that was almost a blunder. So, yeah, those are some Toho designs I'm not a big fan of Ultima's, like, forms. With Shin, I like them, but, I don't know. There we go. I think that's a better outlook on it. As for Shin Godzilla himself, he goes into Godzilla! I love his design. Like I said, I got his big figure. Right here. So, good stuff, good stuff. Although I think that when it comes to, I love to see Shin Godzilla come back and get a new design. I think you could modify him, like 54 had 55. I mean, come on. It can happen. Why not, right? If we see the -1 design get remodeled so much already without even having a second film, I think we can do that for Shin. It's possible. You know it. I know it. It's, come on. Make it happen, right? Like I said for my director's list, bring, Higuchi and Ano back to do another Shin. Like, some kind of adjacent project. Like, if Shin is still appearing in Rise of Evangelion, you can do it and give him a new design. But I love the purple atomic breath. I love his, how muscular he looks. Like I say, it looks similar to 62, like a dinosaurian design. Something about that is very Godzilla. Like, I know people think he's edgy, and sure, he looks threatening, but to me, he just looks like a cool Godzilla design. That's what I like about Shin. I think the hype of having a new Toho film was immaculate. I have a tie poster for Shin, and another one, Oh, hey guys, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, if you've been watching, sorry I've been kind of just rambling on about this. I was kind of hoping that you guys are stopping by. Like, you're kind of like going along with me on the ride, you know? This is my first live stream, so to speak. First stream that works, at least. But I see you guys in the chat. Thank you for watching. I'll try to be more involved in the next stream when I, upgrade my capabilities. But if you're just tuning in, here's my Godzilla design list so far. And then here's my completed director's list. But back to designs. I think, like Shin, I like how he looks cool. I love the way he looks. I got a bunch of posters and handouts from seeing him at G-Fest. They're handing out small posters of him. And then I got a tie one I ordered and I got it laminated. So good stuff, good stuff. Hey, Sans, thanks for watching. Yeah, let me respond to a good friend of mine. Oh, thank you, Sans. That means a lot. Being an underrated YouTuber. Earlier, man. Thank you. I don't know if that would pop up on the live stream itself. It's a bit glitchy, but Thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it a lot. Like, hopefully, the channel starts to take off more. Like, the respective videos that I make, you know what I mean? Hopefully. That's why I'm trying to do this new alien cosplay for Godzilla videos and Ultraman videos. Also because of copyright. But I think it might be fun, you know? Because of copyright. But I think it might be fun, you know? What's some of your favorite designs, guys? But yeah, hopefully between like tokusatsu stuff I do of Godzilla and Ultraman and then my other stuff of like Yakuza and Resident Evil, hopefully it picks up a bit more. Algorithms have been a bit of a pain for me the past 2 months. I don't know, YouTube's always changing, but I'm gonna be sticking around for sure. For my next thing, let's see, we got, let's see. Ooh, where was I? Ah, yes. Monsterverse. A happy moment. I think his design looks just amazing. Like, 2014 I really like a lot. For King of the Monsters, yeah, these are really, really good designs as well. Iconic. I gotta put them up there as well. I think because, like, the recent hype, I think they both complement each other well. I love that the Monsterverse Godzilla has been around long enough that he has new designs. I really do. And I think that's just a cool thing for him to have. It shows longevity. And for another design I'm going to put and, like, crap through a goose, I'll probably do the... What do you call it? The snow one? Snow Godzilla? I think that's from that little anime cameo he had back in, was it late 2010s? 2019? I think it was a cool design when I saw it pop up. But, you know, not my favorite. I'll go and do the Godzilla one from the Rex shorts. I think he's really cool. Like, you know, he saves the Earth as well. I'll put him right there. I'm glad we get to see more, like, random Godzilla designs from shorts and comics and all that. I wish we had another animated film last year, but we didn't get one. Oh yeah, Sam's, I'll remember ya. For sure. For sure, man. Thank you for sticking around for my channel this long. I appreciate that a lot. And that one guy, Trell123, if you're still on, thank you for tuning in too, brother. And Thama, thank you too for watching. Thank you. I know Thama he's a good enemy of mine that likes to comment. Old friend of mine. Like, he does it for, like, fun. Because, you know, that's what we do. Let's see, where was I? Ultima, we'll do Ultima. Maybe we'll, I don't know. Ultima's a fine design. Like, he works in an animated style, but I feel like in terms of animation, I could still see Ultima being played by a man in a suit, like Tokusatsu Suimation. Still cool. You know, I think he's cool for what he is. I love his dorsal plates, so I think he's really, really cool. And I saw that Ultima design everywhere if you played that Godzilla Battle Lines mobile game. He was like, because that game came out when Singular Point was coming out. I remember the hype for Godzilla vs. King Kong and Singular Point at the same time. You've got similar hype when we had -1 and Godzilla X Kong New Empire. So good stuff, good stuff. I think in terms of That's a Lot of Fish, I'm going to put his -1 protoform. I think it's still cool. It works, like in terms of 98 and all these other designs. But I don't know. I think I'll give the Terratris design from Singular Point a little edge because Gorosaurus got referenced, thank God. I know I should be saying that for my boy Titanosaurus, but at least the Terratris design was more of like, at least he looks more like Godzilla, you know what I mean? Oh, Sans, thanks for subbing, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Like, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Sans. But yeah, definitely stay tuned. I know this is just a little live stream for me to test out if I can live stream. I know it's a bit of a mess, this certain stream, but I've got a lot of cool videos coming out soon with higher production value. So, stay tuned, stay tuned. I think now, I'm going to put the, this is definitely S tier. I love what I call the, Kiru Duology design. I have so many figures of him over here. Like, so many. I'll grab another one right here. Here we go. Like, here's the big one right here. Just like that. Great design. Maybe you can see him right here. Yeah, he got the scar from Tokyo SOS. I have the NECA one with the Maser Blast. I have a smaller one too, Bandai 3-inch vinyl. Good stuff, good stuff. Sand says, "What's my favorite dinosaur from Jurassic Park?" Ooh, good question. I might be seeing the new film today or tomorrow, hopefully. But as of right now, like the other films in mind, I'm gonna say a tie between the Buck T-Rex from Lost World, or what else? There we go. So, Sans, my favorite Jurassic Park dinosaurs is probably the Buck T-Rex in the Lost World and the Jurassic Park 3 Raptors. And how about you? But in terms of hoverboards, I love the Brachiosaurus and Ankylosaurus. Now, to kind of help wrap up this ranking, I'm going to do Godzilla Earth is, you know what? He saves the Earth. I really love this design. I think that, can I fit him up there? No? Maybe? Maybe. Well, I think he's a very underrated design. I like Earth way more than Ultima, definitely. Even though Ultima has a lot of good strengths of the design. Like, his dorsal plates are phenomenal. But I think I just like, I like Earth a lot more. That beard is incredible. Or, let's see. Let's do Godzilla X Kong. Alright, let's do -1. I'm gonna put -1 and save the Earth. Probably right in the middle. There we go. Good design. I think he looks great. Good visuals. And we're gonna be seeing more of him. But I just think that, we need to see more of it. Same with the Ultima and this new green -1 variant with different dorsal plates and some other textures. I think he's cool. We'll see more of him. But as of right now, I don't know. Well, maybe. There we go. That's probably a better ranking. Just because I think -1 is an incredible design. There's others I like more. You know what I mean? Then the new Empire design. We'll put him, right there. Well, I mean, it's still a 2014 design. I don't know. I feel like him and the other monsters designs kind of blend together a little bit. I think that's a good ranking. Ooh, Indoraptor and Scorpio Rex. Great picks. I love those hybrid dinosaurs. I'm excited for the D-Rex. I'm excited to see the D-Rex in Rebirth. Also, a really good time to be a fan of anything right now. Part in the stream like that. It's a really good time to be a fan of anything right now, really. Even if there's some franchises you think have better entries than others. What can I say? It's a good time to be a fan. If you don't like something, you'll get something you do like. So I think this might be my final ranking. Although, actually, now that I think about it, I'll put another one up to this favorite design. Let's see. You know, the more I think about it, I gotta put him up here. 72 design. There we go. Yeah, okay, there we go. He, like, Shin reminds me of that design as well, as 62 and 68 design. There we go. Alright. I think it's a pretty fair ranking. Well, maybe I'll put Earth above New Empire design. There we go. Alright, here's my top list. Godzilla, S tier we had Showa's 73, 75, the 64, 2000 or 99, 2001, GMK, the Kiryu Saga design, Shin, the 68, 72, 84, Final Wars, 54, 89, the 91, Burning, 94, 2014, the 2018, the 2024 design, Godzilla Earth with the beard, New Empire, Super Godzilla Evolved, 62 and Saves the Earth, like the middle tier, 65, 76, or 67, sorry, 93, 92, 55, -1, the short film animation one, Ultima, that new Southeast Asia Celebration design. Then we have the second to last tier, Crap Through a Goose, Junior from the animated series, the weird snow one, Shin's two little forms, Treacherous from Ultima. Then at the battle tier, like, they're not bad designs, just like least favorite Godzillas. The -1 Protoform, the Always Sunny design, Hanna-Barbera, Marvel, and then Ultima's forms in 98. But my top 7 is gotta be 75, 64, 2000, GMK, the Tokyo SOS designs from against Shin, and then the 68 to 72. So, there we go, my top rankings for Godzilla designs, my top rankings for Godzilla directors, and you know, what can I say? Oh, excuse me, listen. Oh yeah, let's see the chat. Oh yeah, when it comes to how to train your dragon, you know, Toothless is pretty cool, and I like the big villain dragon from the first film. That's a good design. And the two-headed guy, I like him a lot too. Well, I think I gotta wrap this stream up. I gotta get somewhere real quick. But for all my viewers, Sans, and everyone, thank you guys for watching. Really, I appreciate it. I've been Mr. Tiger Drop Films and my Mugal cosplay from Terra Mechagodzilla. But thank you guys for watching. Please check out my other videos and stay tuned for more. And please, let's keep engaging as a community. I got some cool ideas going forward for all my subs of my different interests of things I made on this channel. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for bearing with me on my technical difficulties. And stay tuned and have a great day, because I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.